Hello there and welcome once more to USR1 Retro. Thank you very much for joining me for yet another pickups video. I do have a bumper crop of pickups and these were all cheap as chips as always. If you do like this pickups video and you want to see what else I've managed to acquire for not very much money, then have a look in the videos that I've released over the course of this channel's life. And if you do like this episode, then please consider liking, sharing, subscribing and whatnot. So we're gonna kick things off with some Blu-rays. Now many of these were found in, well, different places, and the first two were bought a few weeks ago, and they're films that I've watched for the first time last year, and I love these films. But the first one we're going to start off with is a recent one. I don't normally like many recent films. I mean, if you'd asked me what I thought of the recent Vacation film, I got about halfway through it and I just thought it was painfully unfunny. It didn't have the original magic of the original three Chevy Chase ones. It was like they were trying too hard. But this film, I must admit, I actually laughed my guts up. And when we saw this, this was in a Goodwill, and it was like $3 or something. It might have even been cheaper than that. There's two discs. It's got an extended cut with it, and the theatrical version on DVD. And it's got Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis, who's in Ted Lasso, and it's We're the Millers. And I must admit, as I say, this film actually made me laugh my balls off. Really enjoyed this one. I can't actually wait to get it watched again. In fact, I think I watched this on Netflix last year, and I thought, well, we need a hard copy of it, and for $3 I was not going to say no. Very funny film, really enjoyed it. The second Blu-ray is a Steve Martin film. It's got Chevy Chase in it, and it has got Martin Short. And if you can't guess from that cast list what I'm talking about, then I'll just show you. It's The Three Amigos. Again, this was a film I watched Christmas time 2021, I think it was, when I was over here, and I found that my wife had a copy on DVD, and we stuck it on, and after not even watching it many years ago, because I had it on Betamax, it was a recorded Betamax, never watched it. As I say, watched it for the first time last year. Sorry, not last year, 2021, Christmas 2021, sorry, beg your pardon. And I thought it was one of the best films I'd ever seen. It was just funny in all the right places. There was daft humour, there was great humour, there was a nice bit of action. It's nice to see the three comedy leads, you know, busting out their action chops a little bit. And the best thing is, with this Blu-ray, you also get a booklet with it, which is a republished article from the June 2011 issue of Empire. So that's quite nice to have, and it's like a round table discussion with Chase, Short Martin, and John Landis. So be watching that, and also looking at the special features. There's 20 minutes of never before seen clips from an alternate cut of the film. You've got the cast interview, a 1986 interview with Steve Martin, Chevy Chase and Martin Short as they discuss the making of the film, and cast reunion commemorative booklet, which is what I just showed you. I'm quite excited about the deleted scenes. I really am. I just wonder why they didn't put the alternate cut on here as well. It does make me wonder. It's a shame. That's a shame. That's something that would have made this, you know, an even better release. I mean, this was $3 as well, and I literally, my wife was looking at something. She was looking at like little brand new bits in the Goodwill because they sell brand new stuff as well. And I said, so I'm just going to go and have a look at the media, the entertainment. And this was literally the first film I saw. I looked and I was like, so I just literally went yoink and grabbed it. And then I saw this one, so I was like yoink and grabbed that one as well. And when I showed her, she was like, yes. So we now have this on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and Laserdisc. And I think the only one we haven't got is Betamax, so it's one away from the trifecta. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to seeing this again, as it's really good, really enjoyable, really funny. I love this film. I love this film, and as I've said in a few of my other videos, I'm getting into Steve Martin's stuff, like his films and whatnot, and it's great. It's you know, it's great to be discovering more of Steve Martin's stuff. I mean, especially this. I mean, this was what, 1986, so I'm only 37 years behind on that one. And the next one, I actually got this in Movie Trading Company. I've been a big fan of this for many years, ever since I first saw the series. I think it was on BBC Two. It used to be BBC Two. Certainly, it was either Wednesday or Thursday night. It was 6 o'clock. They would play this series, and I've loved it ever since. Really have loved it ever since. I've got the series on DVD. I've got it on Blu-ray in the UK, but I wanted to watch this over here. And I thought, well, it doesn't really matter, because when the time comes for me to move over here, I can sell it on, or I can give it away. So, but when I went into Movie Trading Company, they had the DVD, and it was $5.99. And I thought, you know what, I'll have a look and see how much the Blu-ray is. They had one copy left of the Blu-ray, and it was the same price. So I was like, put the DVD back, buy the Blu-ray. And it's Battlestar Galactica, the original 2-hour film, condensed from the first 3 episodes of the series, which is Saga of a Star World, parts 1 to 3. Obviously, there's a few alternate scenes in this. For those who haven't seen it, I mean, this was what, 1978. I mean, hey, if I haven't seen this since it was like, even when it was released in 86, then people probably aren't going to see this. But spoiler for those who haven't seen it, so look away now and plug your ears up with cheese or something like they did in Hello Hello. The scene in this with Baltar, when he's taken before the Imperious leader, he gets his head cut off in this. In the TV series, he's spared. So that's one of the alternate scenes. There's a couple of other bits and pieces as well. There's bits that aren't in it. There's bits that are in this that aren't in the 3-hour pilot. And that, to me, is what makes this is a really good film. Really good film. I mean, special effects by John Dykstra, who done Star Wars, and then the year before this, and then Star Trek the Motion Picture the year after. And I still think the special effects on this still hold up even today. I think they still work a treat. They really do. I mean, this was, as I say, this was what, 1978. And when this was made for TV, I think the budget was either $500,000 or $1 million per episode, and that's a big budget for a TV series like like episodes every week, and there was 24 episodes. That's $24 million, like back then, like 1978. I think that's roughly about that anyway. So, I mean, all the money's up there on the screen, especially in terms of special effects. You know, I mean, as I say, I love this film. I love the series. I've been watching the remake series with my wife while I've been here, and the first time I tried to watch it, I think I got about 4 episodes in. I was like, yeah. But then we started it again from the very beginning. We watched the mini series, and then started on the series after that as well, like the normal series. And I've been getting into it a lot more. I have been enjoying it. Is it better than the original Battlestar Galactica? It's not better. It's not better. I'd say it's near enough equal pegging because they're two different enough entities. I mean, when the remake series came out, there was like, oh, they made Starbuck a woman, they made Boomer a woman, they've done this, they've done that, they've done that, they've done that. But the thing is, with that, because time's moved forward from that, they need to make it different, to make it fresh. And to be honest, the way that they've done the new series, they've done enough to make it feel fresh, to make it feel different, changed some of the story, changed some of the characters and that. For me, after I was dismissive of it, it does actually work. It does actually work. I really like the new series. I really do. But as I say, is it better than the original series? No, it's not. I think it's just about the same. It is just about the same. Because as I say, even though they share the same name, they share the same character names, they share the same ship names, you know, they're two completely different entities. And that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing whatsoever. So as I say, that was $6. And to me, that was worth every cent. Now, if I can get the remastered Blu-ray of the original series, because it's both in full screen and for the first time in widescreen, I would be a very happy chappy indeed. I really would. Because I love Battlestar Galactica, the original. Richard Hatch, Dirk Benedict, Lorne Greene. Classic series. Brilliant series. Loved it. Now, the fourth one, it's a film that I watch not very much, not very often. But when I do watch it, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I bought the DVD a few years ago because this wasn't out on Blu-ray or 4K then. And before that, I was given a version that apparently was fully uncut. And in my mind, it was fully uncut. But watching this version that I had, even the version on DVD that I've got, even that version's fully uncut. So basically, the person who gave it to me is a liar. But this one, when it was announced it was coming out, I was like, that's what I'm going to have to pick up. Because the special effects on it are just, to coin a phrase, they're out of this world. They really are out of this world. I mean, it's got a great cast as well. And the Dragon special effects by ILM, especially with the Go motion by Phil Tippett, it just looks seamless. And it is, of course, Dragon Slayer. Now, of course, this Blu-ray is multi-region because obviously Paramount have got the rights for distribution everywhere in the world, and this was part of a deal with Walt Disney. I think to do more different features on that. I think the first one was Popeye in 1980, which apparently got panned, but has since gone on to have a cult following, which I've got on DVD, but I wouldn't mind on Blu-ray. I think we've got it on Laserdisc as well. And this, which was the second one in 1981, with Peter McNichol, Ralph Richardson, Caitlin Clark. It's even it's even got Ian McDiarmid as well in this as a priest, as a priest, and his time in it is all too brief. And apparently there's a little story that in, I think it's Return of the Jedi, there's a little nod to his role in this, with a little dragon Vermithrax. What's his name? Vermithrax Pejorative. There's like a little nod to that in this as well, which is in Return of the Jedi from this as well, which is a really nice touch. It's even got a couple of actually, it's got some new special features on here. You've got the commentary by director Matthew Robbins and Guillermo del Toro, who is an advocate for this film. He says it's one of the best films he's ever seen, best film of all time. You've got the screen tests in HD. You've got the Slayer of All Dragons featurette in HD. And you've also got the original theatrical trailer now in HD as well. And I watched this a few nights ago, and it looks like it could have been shot yesterday. The transfer that they've done on this is absolutely fantastic. I can't praise this transfer enough. They cleaned it up. They haven't gone overboard with DNR. It just looks great. I mean, I wish I could have picked it up on 4K, but this was in Barnes and Noble, and it was priced up at $19.99, but it had 30% off. So it came to, with tax, $15, $15.38, which in pounds is about 14 quid, about 14 quid. So it was cheaper than I would have paid for it in the UK. But I had to get this because I love this film. It's not like any other fantasy film of the time where it's all light-hearted and all that. This is dirty, this is gritty, this is grimy. It's just a fantastic film, and plus parts of it were filmed in Wales as well, where my granddad came from. So this will always have a special place in my heart because of that. But no, this is a fantastic film. I mean, especially at the end, and there's a lot more blood and gore in there than I would imagine for a Disney movie. I mean, when you think of when The Black Hole came out in 1979, it even had the first person to be eviscerated in a Disney film, and that was Anthony Perkins when he came up against Maximilian. So I think that was in their dark period as well, because they had that. They had the I mentioned before in a film, The Watcher in the Woods, with the amazing Bette Davis, which is a fantastic film. You've got this. You've got the darker Disney films. I mean, you've also got The Black Cauldron, which is based on the Welsh book as well. Which has got the voice talents of Freddie Jones and John Hurt. That's a great film, great animated film, and it's, as I say, it's darker than any other like Disney animated film that had come before, and it was still rated U. But apparently there was more deleted. Well, there was deleted scenes in that for that film. They actually made it a bit more pushed towards PG. A bit more violent, and there's one on YouTube which was unfinished. I think it's on YouTube anyway, and you see the people melt a bit more when they come into contact with evil from the cauldron and that. But look it up if you get a chance. It's quite fascinating, and I would love to see an extended cut of that on Blu-ray. I really would. I'd love to see like how the original vision went, but I don't think that's a film we're going to see in an extended form, and that's a shame. That really is a shame, because I think films like that had scenes cut out, I would love to see it the original way the director intended. But anyway, the last Blu-ray, this was bought in CD Universe near Mansfield. We had to go out that way yesterday for a private matter, and ever since I saw the Talking Movie stream with Dan's Dan's Movie Cave, Eastwood for Life fan, 101 Bronson, and Blu-ray Ben. They were talking about the films of Quentin Tarantino, and I'd only up to that point seen Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Pulp Fiction, and what was the other one? True Romance that he'd written, and Tony Scott directed. I'd seen the first hour of Django Unchained, and I thought, yeah, it's alright, it's not too bad. But I hadn't seen the rest of it. I'd not seen Jackie Brown. I'd not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But because my wife had them on streaming here, after I watched it, I said to her, I want to watch some Tarantino films. I want to try and get into his work. I really do. Because he's a guy who loves movies. He loves taking bits from movies, mashing them all together into like a one long 2.5 hour tribute. And we watched Jackie Brown, because that's one of the videos that we had from one of the other pickups videos. And I enjoyed it immensely, based on the book by Elmore Leonard, and it was such a good film. It was a great crime caper, really good crime caper. And then, I mean, the performances from the cast were top notch. They really were. I mean, especially Samuel L. Jackson and his expletive-filled script. Oh, he was one of the best characters in the film. Not one of the nicest, but I'd say one of the best characters in the film. And as I say, I really enjoyed it. And then after that, we watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and again, I'd put it off because I was a big Bruce Lee fan. Well, I am a big Bruce Lee fan. When I heard that there was some controversy over him being portrayed the way that he was, I was like, well, I'm not going to watch it out of respect for him. But then, after watching that, I thought, no, you know what? It's a movie. There is going to be some creative license taken. You know, so it's the same with all films that have some element of like true life stuff in it, that they're going to be taken with a pinch of salt. So I thought, you know what, I'll watch it. We sat there, we watched it, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And it's made me want to pick up the film. It's made me want to pick up Jackie Brown on Blu-ray, because we have Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. Again, they were Goodwill purchases for $3 each. You know, so this one, as I say, was CD Universe. It was $3.99. Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy, and ultraviolet. Unfortunately, it hasn't got the DVD, which it does miff me a little bit, I will admit. But it's got the Blu-ray, which I'm happy with. It's got the code for the digital copy. It's got the slip sleeve, and it's Django Unchained. Now, one of the half-price books that we went into, they had a copy of this, and it was $5.49. The tax after that probably would have taken it over $6. This, as I say, was $3.99 plus the tax, took it up to $4.32. I mean, as I say, I know it hasn't got the DVD digital copy, but yeah, I would have liked it complete, because I'm a bit of a completionist. If I try and get something, I'd like it all complete, you know. But I am not that bothered. I am that bothered. But you know what? For the price, it was irresistible. And plus, I wanted to try and watch it all the way through as well. So that is going to be a rewatch. Um, I mean, as I say, for $4, that's probably why it was cheap, because it was missing a disc, you know. But it's something I'm going to have to get over. So it's, you know. So they were the Blu-ray pickups. Now I have got 5 VHS, 1 Laserdisc. Now these were bought in the same half-price books, again in Mansfield. The first VHS, it was $2.99, and I do have this in the UK. I got a copy bundled in with Life Force on VHS. They were ex-rental copies, and I think they were £4 for the pair. But my wife Jen, she saw this. She loves sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I still haven't seen it, even though I've got it on VHS already. And it is Slipstream, with Mark Hamill, Bill Paxton, Bob Peck, Kitty Aldridge, and F. Murray Abraham. Oh, and Ben Kingsley as well, with a very dodgy moustache. But yeah, I've not seen this, as I say. I mean, this was what, 1989? And it's directed by Steven Leisberg, who directed Tron, and it's produced by the guy who produced Star Wars, Gary Kurtz. So, and it's also got Robbie Coltrane as well. Music by Elmer Bernstein. Interesting. But this over here seems to be rated PG-13, whereas in the UK it's rated PG. I'd be interested to see what it would be rated today if it got a Blu-ray release, which this hasn't yet. For some weird reason, this has not had a Blu-ray release, and I don't think it's had a DVD release. If it has, it's not been released in the UK, which is weird. You know, I mean, I would love this on disc, you know, but if we get it, great. If we don't, then it's just going to have to be another, like, literally every single time someone like Eureka or Arrow do announcements, it's literally just begging, please put Slipstream on disc. Now, the second one was Broken. There's a bit of a rattle coming from this. Anyway, no, the second one was from the same place. These are, as I say, these are all from the same half-price books. This is Tom Cruise film with Jamie Foxx, and if you haven't guessed from that, it's Collateral, and it was only $1.99. I had this on DVD years ago when it first came out, and I never watched it. I never watched it, and I don't know why. But apparently, this is a widescreen version. I've only just seen it. Michael Mann film, so this is going to be interesting to watch, because apparently Tom Cruise plays a contract killer who has to do 5 stops, 5 hits, and a getaway in one night, and he picks Jamie Foxx to be his getaway driver. That should be quite interesting, as it's Michael Mann, creator of Miami Vice, director of Thief, The Keep, Heat, and LA. I think it's LA Takedown, which I think was a precursor to Heat. It was like the original version of Heat or something. I can't remember. So it's going to be quite interesting to watch that one. Now, this second one, it's still sealed. The seal's broken, but the tape hasn't been taken out. I've not seen this. It's got Michael Douglas, Sean Bean, Brittany Murphy, Famke Janssen and Oliver Platt, and it's a thriller. And it is Don't Say a Word. As he heads off to enjoy Thanksgiving with his family, a prominent New York psychiatrist is recruited to examine a deeply disturbed young woman, Elizabeth. The next day, his daughter is kidnapped by thieves who want him to pry a 6-digit number from Elizabeth's troubled mind, or they will kill his daughter. With surprising plot twists in the classic Hitchcock tradition, this chilling, suspenseful film with an all-star cast will leave you on the edge of your seat. Be quite interesting to see this one, as I quite like Michael Douglas, and you know, for $2, I mean, even though it says it's used, I mean, could they have resealed it? I mean, you can get reseals, like resealing machines, and people seem to do that with games as well. When they buy games, they open them up and they play them. When they don't want them no more, they reseal them and say, "Oh no, it's sealed." It's quite interesting. Quite interesting with that. The next one is the first of 2 kids' films, and both me and my wife have seen this previously, like each. I think probably when it first came out, because I had the DVD of this. And this is a film I wish would come out on Blu-ray, unless it's out on Blu-ray already, but it's probably quite hard to get hold of. From the creators of Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run. We actually watched this last night, and I forgot how much fun it is. You know, even though it's a kids' film, you know, there is some subtle nods to other films, like when they're trying to escape the pie making machine, Rocky and Ginger, and she manages to get Rocky out after he's covered in gravy, and she loses her hat as they slide under the metal door, and then it cuts back, and then she puts her hand, grabs her hat, comes back out. Nice little nod to Indiana Jones. I mean, the cast in this is actually pretty good. I mean, having Mel Gibson play Rocky the Rhode Island Red, you wouldn't have thought it in a British film, but it's as I say, it's a lot of fun, really well animated, and I think it's going to have to be another watch at some point soon. It really is. I mean, what else can I say about Chicken Run? Really, it's just a classic. It really is. Is it as good as Wallace and Gromit? I'd say near enough. Near enough. Whereas Wallace and Gromit, you know, there's loads of film references in the Wallace and Gromit short films as well. And this is like literally, I think this was proof of concept for a Wallace and Gromit movie, which would come years later. But yeah, I'd say that's probably one of my favourite animated films. It really is, and it's always fun to watch. Always fun to watch. The Last VHS is a Disney film. It's got Danny DeVito in it as Phil, his personal trainer. It's got James Woods as Hades, which has spawned some popular memes. I have not seen this since I bought this on DVD when it first came out, and that's what it doesn't say. It doesn't say. I think probably about 97. Yeah, I think it was about 90. I think it was about 1997 when this came out, or 1998. It's one of the two. Because I remember the game on the PlayStation. There was a demo on the demo disc that came with my brother's PlayStation that I used to play a lot more than him. And of course, the film I'm talking about is Walt Disney's Hercules. As I said, I've only ever seen this once, and I need to go back to it and watch it again. Really, because I do remember liking it. I really do remember liking it, and liking James Woods' performance as Hades as well. Some good gags there. And this was $1.99 as well. You enough, 1, 2, 4 of the tapes were $1.99, and one of them was $2.99. But yeah, some good purchases all around on the VHS front, especially this. But the funny thing was, they actually had 2 copies of this, one priced up at $3.99 and one priced up at $1.99. And this was the better condition copy. I mean, I know there's a bit of a split there, and it's a bit buckled there, but the other one was all dirty, it was all ripped, and they wanted $3.99, and that one was cheaper, so we went for the cheaper one. Why not? But yeah, I'm giving that a watch at some point soon, before I head back to the UK. And the very last purchase is a Laserdisc. Now, I remember seeing a trailer for this on a video cassette. And I can't remember what film it was on. RCA Columbia. When was the film? It was TriStar. 1989. Okay, so that's going to be quite hard to narrow down then. But anyway, the film on Laserdisc is The Bear. As I say, I've not seen this. Not seen it whatsoever. But it's an action-packed outdoor adventure about Yolk, an orphan cub, and the wounded giant grizzly who befriends him. Threatened by the sounds of distant gunfire, the 2 bears begin a desperate quest to escape their most feared enemy, man. Together they journey across the unspoilt wilderness, over the treacherous mountains, through the icy rivers in their search for safety. In a powerfully climatic final scene, the hunter and the hunted come face to face with each other and their own survival. So this was released on Laserdisc in 1990. As I say, the film was released in 1989 by TriStar. Oh, it's widescreen as well. Well, I had no idea. At the request of the makers, the Bear is presented in a letterbox format, which displays the movie's complete theatre screen image for your enhanced video viewing enjoyment. The black bars bordering the top and bottom of the image area are normal for this format. Interesting, because it's got the same markings as the other early RCA Columbia films. I mean, I've got a copy of Krull over there. It's a 2-disc, but it's full screen. They actually requested that this be released as a widescreen presentation. That's quite interesting. That really is quite interesting. I mean, as I say, I saw the trailer for this film and it did intrigue me back then, but I never actually saw a copy on VHS. I never actually saw this at the cinema either. It seemed to be one of those films that came out. So it's one of the cats in the background. Oh, yeah, it's all right. Modo. No, sorry, it's having a sniff. Yeah, I never actually remember this coming out at the cinema. This seemed to just disappear after I saw the trailer. which is weird. But that'd be quite interesting to see that. I don't think that's had a DVD release. I'm certain that's not had a Blu-ray release or a 4K. And seeing it on Laserdisc, it's the only time I've seen it on the physical, like to buy like a physical copy. I don't even think I've seen it on streaming. So it's one of those films that seems to have been just completely abandoned and forgotten about, which is weird. You know, but these things happen. And that's the thing with physical copies, and why I'll always champion physical media, because of stuff like this, that if you can't find it on streaming, you have to search for a physical copy, and even then, in the wild, a physical copy is going to be hard to come by. We just come across this by accident. This is only the second copy we come across when I was over here before Christmas. There was one other copy that we saw, and it was battered to hell, and they wanted the same price for it, $5.99. And we left it. Not seen it on VHS, as I say. Not seen it on DVD or Blu-ray. I don't even think there's been those physical releases. So, you know, as I say, this is why I'll always champion physical media, because of stuff like this that you can't find. And again, in the case of Slipstream, you know, I don't think this has had a disc-based release at all. It's just been completely forgotten about, and that's a shame. That really is a shame, because there's so many movies out there that are crying for HD releases on physical format. You know, I mean, even in the UK, the last version of Last Starfighter that we had was on VHS. We've not had no disc releases at all. Here in the US, they've had DVD. They've had 2 different Blu-ray releases, and now they're going to have a 4K release. The 2 different Blu-ray releases. You had one from Universal with some special features on. You had a version from Arrow, which was remastered with the same special features plus additional. And then you've got a 4K release with the same special features carried over. So they're having a whale of a time with all these physical releases. Where in the UK, we're not getting disc-based releases. That's quite sad. But at least that film is having a physical release, you know. And as I say, that is why I'll always champion physical releases, because if they're not on streaming, you're screwed, you know. I mean, I'm gonna be on a stream with Dan's Movie Cave and a couple of others. We're going to be talking about physical media, and we're going to be going more in depth about it, about our love for physical media and why we think it should stay and all that. So I'll let you know when that's coming, so keep an eye out for that one, all about physical media. But no, that's it. That's it for this pickups video. Actually, no, it's not. And here I am. The last one is actually a game, and it's one that I forgot that I had. I picked it up a few weeks ago, and I completely forgot all about it. So this is going to be a special bonus pickup. So I'm just getting the remnants of the price sticker off, because I pulled the price sticker and it's left some of the residue behind. So I'm just trying to get that off. Right. This game is by Razorsoft. I don't know if it's based on the arcade game of the same name, the machine of which I think I took a photo of and is in my Sidearcade video. And it's Pigskin Football on the Genesis / Mega Drive. Now this was $12, and it's by Razorsoft. It's from Oklahoma, which is just that way. I try and think where more orientation is. It's that way. Oklahoma's just up yonder. And it's Jerry Flanvilles, something, half and half of Villes. Yeah, I mean, I was going to try and get a physical, a full, complete copy of this off of eBay. About 8 months ago, and it goes for something silly, like complete. Even the cartridge copy on eBay goes for insane amounts of money, and this was $12 for just a cartridge. I haven't tried it yet. I'm guessing it's based on the arcade game, but it's something that's going to be intriguing. I'm going to take a look at that in a normal gameplay video. I mean, I'm not really that hot on American football games, mainly because I can't play them. That's why I can't play Cyberball or any of the Joe Montana games or Madden games. Even though I fancy playing them, I don't do very well on them because I suck. Might be interesting to play that for certain. No, so now that is it for this pickups video. I do have my Star Trek 6 video in the pipeline. It's all recorded. I just have to edit it all together. Bearing in mind that video was done while I was feeling really under the weather, so my mind's going to be all over the place. And try and do it to the best of my ability. But I hope you stay tuned for that one. In the meantime, that's the end of this pickups video, and this is going to be USR1 Retro signing off. So goodbye, take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.